Hey everybody, Greg Poole here with Bojangles Media, bojanglemedia.com. We're at the Appling GA ASA Pro-Am event. We're here at the Mathews booth with Derek Phillips. How's it going, Derek?
It's going great, Greg. Thanks for coming. Proud to have Bro Junkie here.
I'm telling you, it was a good flight, except for the car rental experience at the Atlanta airport. Other than that, things are just moving fine as frog hair. So, what's new in the world of Mathews?
Really, you had problems at the Atlanta airport with your car rental? Mine was awesome. I walked out there at National, had a four-door rented, and they had like one little Hyundai there, and I said, I really don't want that. And the guy said, will you take that Beamer over there? I said, do I have to pay more? And he said, no. I said, we're on. So I got a Beamer. What'd you wind up with?
All right, folks, we're done. No. We ended up getting a car. The problem that we had was, for some reason, Dollar was the popular rental thing. So as we're walking down, there's like 3 people in this line, and I see a crowd about 100 yards down, and of course that was Dollar. So we ended up waiting an hour and a half to get a car. But other than that, the drive was good. The weather here is great. I'd like to see it hold up. It's supposed to rain a little bit on Sunday, but good to see you guys out here in force. You got obviously you got the cool Mathews chairs rolling. So I understand that. First of all, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what happened at the Paris, Texas event. Obviously, you had a relatively new addition to the team this year in one of the nice guys in our sport, Mr. Danny Evans. Talk with me a little bit about what was going on in your mind. You've been doing this a long time. You've seen a lot of archers come and go. You've seen a lot of people win. You've seen a lot of people try to win. Kind of talk to me a little bit about what was going on in the mind of a veteran in the industry like yourself to see a guy come over and finally, after 11 years or so, get his first ASA win in Danny Evans. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, it wasn't undeserved. Let me tell you why. Because last night when I got here, about 7 or 8 o'clock, I was driving down the road, and who did I see on the practice range? Danny Evans. Last night. After winning Texas,
right.
You would tend to think that a pro might take a little bit of break, just kind of relax a little bit. He's out there working at it. What does that tell you?
He wants to do it again. Awesome.
No doubt.
Awesome.
25, 30 years in this professional 3D sport, you see a lot of guys that work hard at it, like you say. He is one of them. And, we're blessed with a number of guys that put their heart and soul in this sport.
Absolutely.
And you can tell.
Absolutely. I mean, for those of you that were watching our footage of that event, a lot of times when people win, everyone goes out and you shake the hands and you shake the babies and everyone gives hugs. It's not very often that you see the kind of genuine emotion that comes from not only the crowd but the sponsors, even his competitors, when someone like Danny Evans gets over that hump and wins their first event. To me it was palpable, the emotion from Danny McCarthy to Brandon Reyes to Tommy Gomez to even people that don't shoot Mathews. Just the camaraderie on this tour. When Danny won, I just kind of sat back and was watching, and the response to him winning was unbelievable.
That's one of the great things about the guys and gals that are competing in our sport. They love each other quite a bit. And unless you're here to actually see it, you struggle with, believing it. In other professional sports, there might be a candid moment.
Sure.
But there's not real and true deep feelings that you can actually see, and you probably saw in Texas.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's kind of a testament to the entire industry. And while everybody out here are competitors, everybody's competing. But once that last arrow's fired and the winner is crowned, when it's a moment like that, I was actually pretty happy that we were able to be there to capture it on film. We actually saw Danny at the ice cream parlor that night. And yes, hashtag winner buys. Danny bought ice creams, and so it was cool.
Nice. It's nice to see our contingency was well spent.
Well, he didn't quite have the check in the booth with him while he was getting ice cream, but it was still pretty good. So kind of talk to me a little bit about what you kind of see. Obviously, it's pretty hot and muggy here. We're supposed to get some rain on Sunday. Kind of give me your thoughts on how you see this event playing out this weekend.
Well, that's a great question. I think in the pro classes as well as the amateurs, with this heat, and depending upon what the humidity becomes and how high the temperatures, it usually becomes a little bit of an endurance. And sometimes, those that are in better shape show a little bit better performance in situations like this. So
Right.
that may come out, and those who take the time to keep themselves, keep drinking water and prepare for an event like this, stay cool, and just treat their bodies correctly, generally come out on top.
That actually brings up a great point. Me being a left coast guy, right now it feels like the temperature is about a calm, cool 174 degrees with about 1 million, humidity. I'm sweating but anyway, for those that don't understand, obviously for everybody in the South and everyone that comes to these events, they understand what the humidity does to their body, and most of them are actually used to it. Talk to us a little bit about, you've been doing this a long time and you've been to every one of these events. Talk to us a little bit about how someone either can prepare or acclimate to these kinds of conditions, and from a competitive standpoint, what that can mean.
Well, there are several ways to acclimate yourself. Just like you, I come from the West. I live in Colorado where, the humidity's way less than here, and at altitude. So I live right at 7,000 feet. So, when I was competing, I could train at that altitude. And I did have an advantage when I came to a lower altitude as far as that was concerned. I'd walk the ranges and I'd walk normal pace, and I'd be well ahead of people, especially if there are hills involved. And when you mix in the humidity, that was certainly a factor for me that, generally I wanted to be there earlier.
Okay.
Most of the times
How much?
2 days
Okay.
was beneficial for me.
Gotcha.
Most of the time when I was competing, I was traveling with Randy Ulmer.
Okay.
And he comes from a dry climate as well.
Yes.
And, getting to these events early was beneficial to us, not only for acclimatation to the climate, but as well to the foliage, and judging targets made a big difference for us.
That's a good point.
I always tried to shoot the Pro-Am. Generally, that was the second day that we're here. Shooting the first day on a practice target, and the second day I'd shoot the Pro-Am. That would mix in a little bit of pressure and make me work in that foliage that I was going to compete in. So
That's a good point.
not only was I representing my sponsor by participating in the Pro-Am, but it also helped me with my estimation under the same given conditions with pressure applied.
Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna ask for one tip. Give everybody out there one tip, whether it be weather, training, whatever it may be, acclimation. Give us one tip for someone that's looking to come compete on the ASA or the IBO tour back here in these kinds of conditions. Give us one tip that a newbie could use to help them do better at these events when they first start.
I'll give you two. One, if you're a newbie, shoot the Pro-Am event. It's a great experience. You'll get to meet your favorite pro. You may even draw Levi Morgan. Who knows who you're going to get.
There you go.
And you'll have a great time. And the second one is make sure you stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water and fluid.
There you go. Words to live by. All right, everybody. Thanks, Derek, for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thank you, Greg. Have a great weekend yourself.
All right.